Good morning, Trade Pros on YouTube. Good morning, Trade Pros in our room and community. Good morning, everybody. Um, good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful day. Um, okay, let's get into it. I woke up a little bit later today just so I got some more sleep. I didn't go to bed earlier last night, but I will tonight, I promise. But let's get into the situation today, all right? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't have any of the news notes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let me turn around and rant to you a little bit, okay? Stop the screen share for a moment. We're going to get into the trading plan relatively quickly today. Morning, Prashant. We're going to get into the trading plan relatively quickly, but I'll tell you this and something really cool. Do you guys remember way back in the day? Do you remember like way back in the day we had squirrels in the background? Does anyone remember that? Tell me if you do. Who's been an OG and around TradePro so long? They remember my trading office in Mississauga. We had squirrels. Literally, there were squirrels running in the background, and when the squirrel would run up the tree, the market would be bullish. And when the squirrel ran down the tree, the market would be bearish. Now, that was the time where I traded completely different. I traded entirely off of fade opportunities. I would, when the market was going up, I would look to get some momentum. When the market got toppy, I would look to short it for a pullback scalp. When we got to the pullback, I would try to get in on the pullback for the continuation. And then that cycle would repeat. And it would repeat the same way to the downside. The problem with all that is you could do anything at any moment. So when it worked well, I would catch every single thing and I looked genius. And when it worked bad, I would have 50,000 losing day on NASDAQ. That's my record losing day, by the way, biggest ever. And I hope one day I lose more. I'll tell you why, because that means I'm trading way bigger. So, um, where I was going with this is it's more calm nowadays. It's more chill. It's more relaxed. The squirrel was all that we needed in order to kind of have a good laugh, but also internally say to ourselves, well, like, we don't really know what's going to happen. Let's see. Wait and see approach, but without a plan. No plan in the morning, show up, scout, pull up the order flow tools, utilize them whenever the opportunity showed up. Problem is, no plan. If you don't know what you're planning to do, what you end up doing isn't according to plan. You can't be mad at it. So I had some really good performance and then some days that were really bad. So I've replaced the squirrel. You're not going to see a squirrel in my living room. You might see a lizard. It's Florida. If it gets cold enough, you'll see them raining down off of the trees. But this is the new squirrel. STFR, baby. Sell the effing rip today. That's what it's about. New merch, Trade Pro Academy. Let's go. This is one of my favorite long sleeve hoodies that I bought way back in the day. Just arrived. So I thought I'd show it to you. And literally talk about a little bit of a headline risk and why I'm not doing news. All right. It's tough to give you news without talking about Iran and US. And in our community on Circle, I posted a note on five potential things that could escalate when Trump's ceasefire thing, the 5 day plan, expires this Saturday. So we're heading into the last 2 days of the trading week. We're heading into a weekend where any of those options are possible. And any of those options end up creating a 1 to 2 year war situation. It's not going to be a couple weeks. When the next escalation happens, and Donald Trump has said you should come and negotiate before it's too late. They've got a 5 day window. After that 5 day window, which expires this Saturday, by the way, he said extreme action is likely. I've listed those scenarios in our community from a lot of research I have on the trading desk. I have probably $10,000 to $15,000 easy of subscription based intel from institutional letters, hedge fund letters, bank research, sell side research that I have access to. So I listed the scenarios and the escalations in our community. Right? I don't want to talk about it at ad nauseum. I will tell you this weekend we're gonna have pins and needles. If anything escalates over the weekend when the market's closed, the gap down is gonna be horrific because I think the last couple days, the extent and magnitude of the news hasn't really been priced in yet. And the only time the market drops is overnight. During the day, we consolidate, we chop, and I see on X everyone complaining, "Oh, it's so difficult to trade these market conditions." Well, bro, you opened your account in 2023. It's going to be difficult for you. Yes, it's the most difficult in a couple years, but don't you dare disrespect an entire industry and say this is difficult. All right. Where were you in '09 and '08? That was difficult. All right. Where were you during Brexit? That was difficult. First presidential election trading it, that was difficult. This is also difficult. I'm not minimizing it, but it's actually not difficult. The charts tell you everything you need. The difference in this situation and any one of the last ones that were really difficult is that you still have the opportunity. All right. It's difficult. Yes. It's harder to trade. Yes. We're in a range, but you still have the opportunity. The charts are still giving you the opportunity. The difficult part is you waiting for the opportunity. The difficult part is not getting pulled in by headlines. The difficult part is you having a plan and following it and trusting it that you use when there was only 30 to 40 point overnight ranges and now we're having 100 plus point ranges. That's the difficulty. The volatility isn't to be feared. The volatility is to be embraced. All right. When the game starts moving faster, the good players benefit. If you've ever seen hockey, watch Connor McDavid. Watch a live game with him playing. This guy's a freak. It looks like he's playing with high school kids. When he starts moving, you're like, holy moly. It looks like a car race on skates when Connor McDavid starts skating. So you got to step up and elevate to that level. This isn't difficult. This is actually suppressed price action. It could get a lot more difficult. If and this is the whole point of this talk. I didn't want to do like news and here's crypto today down at 71K. I think we need a message today. And the message is this: it's harder. All right. And there's been things that have been way harder. It's difficult. There's been things that have been way more difficult, even if you haven't traded through them. But the way that this gets put into your subconscious and into your career is did you did you fumble the bag? Did you get weak and let it break your back? Or did you rise up to it and overcome it? That's all there is. So it's time to fight. That's all. It's difficult. I get it. There's headline risk. All right, get in the trade and get out of it if you don't like it. But don't take away the opportunity from yourself. Go curl up in your bed and say, I'm not trading until this is over. So any one of the four options that are likely, or five options that are likely this weekend with Iran, leads to 1+ years of involvement of military operation. Most of them troops on the ground, escalation in the region, scary stuff. That's where we're at. STFR. Let's get on the trading plan. My kids are wilding out just as much as I am. One second. Let me just close the door. You want to know difficult? Try being a Maple Leafs fan. That's difficult, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not trading this newsline risk. This is fun compared to that. Champ, tank for McKenna, buddy. Nobody got the message. After Matthews got his knee destroyed by Gudis on the knee to knee, I really just feel like the team is finally woken up and playing with passion. But man, now you're supposed to be losing. Tank for McKenna. I think they had a 16% chance of drafting him first overall. Anywho, percent. Good for you guys. You have pretty high odds to get it. Win us together. Good morning. Good to see you. Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a minute. Not questioning, not saying any that in negative context, but I miss you. Prashant, thank you, bro. You watched the webinar. You said it was great. I appreciate it. I felt really good. I think that's one of the best ones I've done. Yeah, being a Rangers fan is pretty close. The thing with Leafs fans is, or the being a Leaf, we call it what is the leafiest things that they could do. It's kind of like the setup with the most hope and the biggest failure. Being bad is not a bad thing if you're building, but being bad and like showing signs of hope only to be bad at the worst moments and repeatedly that doing that process, that's called doing the leafiest thing. All right, let's get back in the charts. Um, oh, you were. Oh, awesome. My bad. I'm really sorry. I know you told me. What was your name again? If you shared it once, that's why I even ask. All right, look at this. Nothing above these notes today, other than the story in the U.S. story overnight, um, and the trading plan. All right, let's get into it. So, but I don't want to reveal it all. I don't know if this is too small for you guys text wise, but let's just roll with it for a minute. So here's the story. We opened at 66.63 yesterday. Nice little open. Okay. Um, nice little bid off the open and a bullish plan. Great setup structure. We everything looked like we were gonna break some of the overhead resistance, but we acknowledge there's really big resistance we could pull back. All right. Then this we set the prior day high at 66.8475. It's marked off of this level over here. All right, that's the high of the day. And then the sellers just stepped in. Took us down to the flip zone. All right, we battled it. We were discussing that yesterday's flip zone break and coming back into the range started to look a lot like the prior day where we got buy stops. And I got chopped up here. I traded the plan, but I got chopped up, and then I lost a little control. And what, did 3 or 4 trades I shouldn't have? I got chopped up on as well. So things didn't go great, but it wasn't terrible. I wouldn't call it hard. It was just a bonehead. Why would I blame anything else for something being hard when the opportunity was there and I know I could have came out on top? Many members in the room did come out on top. Why would I complain? I don't have the right to. Just get your stuff together and get back on the horse. Get back in the car. Get back to whatever you're doing. Get back to the desk. Stop complaining. All right. That was the spiel I gave myself. So then we got a tape bomb on Iran. All right. Things got a little difficult after that. I'll acknowledge that temporarily, but at least now you know it's a news headline driven day and you just adapt to it. I think a lot of traders who struggle with it after news have struggled with adapting their strategy to these kind of events. I didn't do anything after that trade because I just did so poorly. If I didn't do good pre-news headlines, why did I think I was going to do good post-news headlines? If you don't got it, you don't got it. Watch from the sideline. So I was tapped out, but then we rally upward to the close and we closed out the webinar. And this ended up being one of the slowest, least eventful days. Still had opportunity, but very early on. All right. Then the tape bomb hits, it gets volatile. Then we dump. Then we recover all the way back up above the flip zone. And we just sit there and like make out with the flip zone for a little bit. It's kind of what happened. Nothing after flirting with it and we go up and then she makes a pass at us. We slap her in the face, running away from her. And then we come back. Then we flirt a little bit, make up, and everything's good. And we close 66.43, 20 points below the open. It's not an eventful US day whatsoever. All right. 68 and a quarter point range, the lowest in 6 trading days. So contraction. Yesterday, our sentiment index said selective. Before all this happened, it said be selective. And then we got a contraction. All right. From all that making out, you're going to get contractions. That's how babies are made. Volume 1.71 million for the day. Third consecutive decrease in volume as well. So we're in some pretty tight consolidations here. Let me hit record. TradePro's in the room. I'm sorry. I remembered this time at least a little bit late. I just covered pretty much the story US of the prior session. Now we're going overnight. And then we're going to build into the trading plan. All right, here's the overnight story. Off the open, we got a tiny bid to set the overnight high at like 66.47. Okay, we traded once or twice. We sold off to the downside. On the way down, we put some really big sell holds. These are order flow levels and areas of resistance now. All right, we got some 30-point wild swings in overnight before we continued down, but we did continue down. And we continued down right into the 6,600 put support for the 0 DTE options. Broke it, retested it, continued lower to set the overnight low now at 74.25. All right, which there's some GEX down there as well, some gamma exposure as support to the tick in the middle of that level. Up we go. And we're retesting a little bit now. All right. Headline risk is increasing. All right. We're on lows. Selling's continuing. That's just what it is. Overnight range is over 70 points. Lower than yesterday's US range, but higher than a regular overnight range on 376K volume. So this is the trading plan. It's going to be very simple. Traders are confused. I know that. I've perused through X and I see everyone's just confused and blaming headline risk. All right, it's fine. It's cool. If you're new to this stuff, that's what you do the first time you trade something like this. All right, institutional though is what I'm concerned about. They're kind of losing the narrative too. Like, look, a lot of institutions have models. They're not degenerate concussion club traders looking for a long opportunity and a sell opportunity just based on a little event intraday so they could close out and go home. That's not how you trade with $1 billion plus. You got to have more positional stuff. They all have models on which they're managing this portfolio money. Their assets under manager are modeled or managed by models. All right. They're not managed by manual traders who are looking for edge in the marketplace. So when something happens, then this needs to happen trade wise. And when this needs to happen, they just go in the market and do it. That's when you start to see a lot of size and a lot of volume trade and all that. They're confused too. Wait, how the heck are you supposed to adjust your algorithm when every single day the thing's changing? The war is on, the war is off, escalation, de-escalation. No, we're not attacking. You just got attacked. U.S. says this. Israel completely overlooks that and says, "What the heck is U.S. talking about? None of that's true." Iran says a third narrative. Somebody comes in from the side. There's a fourth narrative. Suddenly, 2 minutes later, there's a squawk. All those narratives disappear. It wasn't all that. It was actually this. So there's confusion on the institutional side on where the direction is, but all that they're seeing is, hey, we continue to squeak lower here. So all I can really do is who cares about what I'm hearing? What I'm seeing is I need to protect my downside. And who can blame them? It's a little bit messy. It's like the friend that just speaks their mind with no filter in your circle. That's what this market is starting to feel like. Not the market. The market's trading clean, actually, surprisingly clean, considering just the whole narrative around what's moving the market. And yeah, yesterday's bias zone, put this into context for a second. Yesterday's bias, based on the flip zone, was the first time in 12 days that it broke. The last 12 consecutive days, excluding yesterday, every flip zone we had held, every bias, every opportunity held. Right? That's what I'm saying. It's not difficult. Even yesterday it held until we broke it on some headline risk and started making out with it. Like we talked about here. All right, today the flip zone is no different, except this time the different part is the price actions below it were bearish. Sell hold of levels, sell hold order flow levels, levels of sell interest are the 97 to 6,000, the 9 to 16, 25 to 32, and obviously the upside here. The reason I like this is you have zero DTE high vol level, you have the prior day cash close, the overnight high, and gamma exposure, all just super clustered in there. All right. You have all that stuff and more, all the goodness, and it's a big resistance. And it's not one of those things where it's shaping up to be way above or below a level, right? It's pretty close. It's pretty close. So, um, 1 second. That's what we got on the trading plan, but one more headline risk event, and we could be trading at 6,700. All right, 100-point rally. Shortly after that, we could get the news squawk to tell us something else. It'd be down at the lows of 65.74. All right. The market opportunity is elevated, I feel, but so is the risk of headlines. So keep that in mind. All right. There's nothing you could do about it. If you want to make a difference, go into politics. If you want to have an impact on the war, go fight in the battlefield. But if you're gonna trade, who cares what you see or who cares what you think? Look at what you see. The chart's telling you everything, and the days get a little bit easier, and they have been. So I love you guys. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this message. If you have issues or you're struggling, please seek help. Um, we are not mental advisory or about, I don't know. I don't have a good disclaimer for you off the top of my mind. I'm not that sharp today. All right. Charles, my bad, Charles. Yeah, Charles, you probably remember the squirrels, right? Marco, good morning. And yeah, that's it. Everyone on YouTube, thank you so much. Remember, you have until Sunday um, evening for what was offered in the webinar or what that is. If you sign up to TradePro Academy and get the order flow vault, I'm going to do a personal walkthrough call with you on how to make your next 30 days the best 30 days, how to make change in the next 30 days. And I'm going to walk you through it personally with my involvement directly on this call. And you get to see what the order flow vault's about, right? Stop hiding. Come see us. I'll give you a hug. Love you guys. Check it out. Order flow vault at tradeproacademy.com. Have a great rest of your day. And I really appreciate you guys. I got to tell you, we got the best community in the world. I feel it. And Every morning I wake up, I see something positive in the community, and it's just a joy to be around you guys. Take care, guys. Love you. All the best on YouTube. Straight pros in the room. Hang tight. I'm gonna get to all that discussion.